So if your CSV file is of 10 KB, almost any code will work perfectly fine. But what happens when this is 5 GB? If rows corrupted, or what if your script suddenly consumes all your available RAM? So these issues may look fine in your local setup, but these are really important when you are working in production. So in this video tutorial, we will understand how senior developers handle CSV files in production environment. In the part 1 of this video, we have already covered multiple topics around CSV, like how we can use the CSV reader. We have covered basic file handling. We have also covered how we can handle headers, and we have also covered some basic error handling as well. In today's video, we are going to move beyond the beginner examples and we will see how we can solve real world programming problems around CSV. So this is the code that we have seen in my previous video where we are using csv.reader. Now this is fine for files which are smaller in size, but production systems often need more. One limitation of csv.reader is that you are working with indexes. So here we can see that for fetching name, age, we are using index on row. So how we can overcome this? There is one method known as DictReader, which gives you column names instead of numeric indexes. So let's see how we can use this. So instead of reader, I'm going to use DictReader, and by the same method we are also going to pass file in this. Let's remove the header for now. So in the for loop, let's see how we can fetch this data. So I'm going to create a user variable which is going to be as dictionary, and in this dictionary I will define name. So I need to take the row, and instead of defining the index, I can pinpoint to the specific value. For example, I need name dot strip we are going to use so that it can remove extra spaces from this. And then let's fetch age as well. For age, again I have to keep row, then square brackets. In the square brackets, the name of the column that we are fetching, that is again age. And now the age is an integer value, so I will pass this complete row as an integer, and that's it. And now let's print this user. Now let's run this code. So we got each row as a dictionary, and instead of using indexes, we have used column names, and this is usually where we perform data transformation immediately after reading, converting strings to integer, convert numbers, and clean white spaces, how we have done in this example with name and age. This keeps downstream code much cleaner. Now let's see another example. In the real world, CSV files can be messy. So for example, here instead of integer value, it would be as string. So let's put 30 here. So here in the second row, the code will fail if we blindly convert age into integer because it's a string value. So what we can do here is we can handle this situation using a try except block, where for a specific exception, for example, whenever we try to convert a string to integer, we will get a value error. In such value errors, we can mark the age as none. So here let's have a try block where if we try to fetch age converted into integer, and row I'm fetching as age, and for this try I will put an except block. Now exception here that we are looking for is the value error. In this case I will put age equal to none, and then let's print the age. Now let's clear the screen and run this code. So here you can see for the first row I got the age as 25. The issue lies in the second row where I was trying to convert a string value to integer. In that case I get the age as none. So production systems shouldn't crash because of one bad row. Instead, what should we try to do here? We should log the issue, we can skip the issue, or we can apply some default value. Now next, let's see another example of reading large CSV files effectively. This is where many developers accidentally create performance problems. So for example, here if I remove this complete code and if I try to convert my whole data to a list using the list method, now this list method loads the entire file into memory. If your CSV file is of several GBs, that's a disaster. So the best approach here is to use the for loop so that we can process one row at a time. This is usually referred as a streaming approach, and this approach keeps memory usage nearly constant regardless of the file size. Another way of handling this situation is by processing data in chunks, and for that we can generally use pandas. We will see the use of pandas in any further tutorials, but for this tutorial let's keep the topic to CSV module. Now let's see another example. Basically, not all CSV files uses comma. So whenever we are processing raw data files, we should always inspect sample data before writing parsers. Different systems export CSV files differently. So the common issue here is semicolon delimiter, mixed encoding, quoted fields and embedded commas. So how we can handle this? For example, if we have this file where the delimiter of separating the data and column is not comma, it's different. While using the DictReader, we can define our reading delimiter as well. So how we can do this? So currently if we run this file, we will get an error. But how we can handle this properly? We can define a delimiter here. Delimiter equals to, and then the exact delimiter that we need to process. Now if we run this code, our code runs successfully. So next, let's discuss some important tips. When working with CSV files professionally, we should always use DictReader instead of index-based access. We should always validate and transform data immediately. We should never load huge files entirely into memory. We should always try to use streaming or chunk processing. We should always expect malformed data, and we should always try to handle failures gracefully. These habits will make your CSV processing code faster, safe and production ready. Now if you found this tutorial helpful, please subscribe for more Python tutorials where we focus on how software is actually written in production environment and not just toy examples. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any suggestion, you can pin down those suggestions in the comment box. Also, you can email us at the given email ID. Thank you so much for watching. We will meet you in the next one.